Thank you, Speaker. It's a pleasure to rise and speak to the Democratic Participation Act and thank the member from Orleans for obviously some very hard work. And I believe she's very sincere about what she's put forward. And I requested to speak to this because the whole concept of citizenship is one that's very important to me. And as a former executive director of a settlement agency, I've been to many citizenship ceremonies, and to see the look on a newcomer family's face when they become citizens of our country and are given all the rights to vote, it really impresses upon you that they don't take it for granted, but many of us as Canadians really take that right for granted. And you know, the concept of citizenship is really one that is definitely worthy of debate. It reminded me of one of my favorite authors, John Ralston Saul, who writes about the failure of globalization and returning to concentrate on citizenship. And after, as we all know, the globalization, the failure of globalization in 2008, and the vacuum that left, we had all of these right-wing populist parties step into that vacuum. And they don't talk about what we can do for our country or our province. They talk about, you know, it's all about selfishness. It's all about me. What can I get that tax break? Can I get that buck of beer? Can I get something for myself? And citizenship is really the opposite of that. Citizenship is really a way out because it speaks to our responsibilities to our country, to our province, our municipality, our children's future, reconciliation with Métis, Aboriginal, and First Nations peoples. It speaks to all of the important things that will really take us forward as a country, not just ourselves. And so I really would commend the member from Orleans for a very thoughtful bill and some very hard work. And going through the bill, there are some great suggestions. I think that you'd find many in the New Democratic Party, at least, will agree with. Certainly lowering the voting age to 16. Based on my conversations with young people these days and what they're going through, they're certainly better informed than many of the older people I talk to, quite frankly. And I'm not sure why we would have a different voting age for municipal elections. I think 16 is old enough to vote in all elections. And I would also think that we could talk about newcomers. And the board I used to sit on, OCASI, the Ontario Council of Agencies Serving Immigrants, talked about giving the right to vote to newcomers who own property and are simply waiting for their citizenship ceremony to come. Why should we not be including them in voting? And of course, mandatory voting, I think, is an excellent idea as well. So this is a very thoughtful bill. I'm not going to repeat. My friend from Davenport really summed up our problems with the bill, which of course the ranked voting, I think that has to be something we look at more, all systems of voting. And of course the fact that we have to have a public process when we come forward with democratic changes, and I'm not sure that's accomplished here, but thank you to the member for a thoughtful bill.
The member for Orleans has 2 minutes to reply.
Madame la Présidente,